Dr. Ramakanta Panda is a world-renowned name in the cardiovascular thoracic field of medicine. Founder of Asian Heart Institute, he is not only a talented surgeon, but considers the well-being of his patients as his first and foremost priority.
Dr. Ramakanta Panda is the world's leading heart surgeon, honored with the Padma Bhushan in 2010 by the Government of India, and has a 99.6% success rate in bypass surgery. Let's talk about these 25,000 cases. Were they all easy ones? Well, no. 20% of these cases had less than a 10% chance of success, and at least 5% were declared inoperable by others. So imagine a situation where you yourself or a loved one is going through an ailment and everyone throws their hands up. Dr. Panda has literally been a miracle worker for many of these people. 25,000 surgeries that one man has done, 25,000 lives that one man, Dr. Ramakanta Panda, has saved.
Celebrating 25,000 successful heart surgeries with Asian Heart Institute and Dr. Ramakanta Panda, the congregation of some of the finest medical professionals from the cardiovascular field to commemorate the momentous feat.
Number is not important, the type of care which has been provided and the result which has been achieved, that is, to me, it is more important and more satisfying. With those type of care, 25,000 number comes automatically. It has been very satisfying as a professional to work in this setup, and that is why I have been there all along.
Well, first of all, I should congratulate him on 25,000 surgeries he has done. He's a wonderful man, a great surgeon. I consider him as my mentor. Whatever I am is because of him. He's very much dedicated to the patient's care, gives all he has for the patient care.
No hospital anywhere in the world has this success rate, what he has achieved. And it's a big thank you to him also for giving me an opportunity to work with him and being a part of his team for last 27 years.
Dr. Panda is a great person, great cardiac surgeon that I am so happy to work with him over last 12 years. He is like a mentor, he is like a person we learn a lot from him, the hard work he puts in to treat his patients.
An in-depth conversation with Dr. Panda focused on the treatment of heart ailments and cardiovascular disease, and how doctors need to be accountable in maintaining the highest standards of patient care.
Let me start with this number, 25,000. It's intimidating.
Yes.
How many a day? How does it work? Do you remember each of these cases and what it meant to you?
I think before I talk about, whatever I have achieved, whether it's 25,000 surgeries, the best results in the world, not possible without a team.
Yes.
I have got a fantastic team who have been with me for, you won't believe, 25 years. Wow. They have been with me 25 years. Dr. De Silva, Dr. Rath, Dr. Banjara, Dr. Dora, Dr. Tilak is not here, Swatiben is there, anesthetist Swatiben, and Dr. Manoj. And my team has been, that is one of the secrets to my success, is I have a team who have been with me for 25 years, with me. And I'll consider them the best. The entire credit goes to them. And without them, I would not have been able to do so much surgeries and not been able to get the results. And having said that, it is something, yes, it's very humbling for me. And when I started surgery, I never thought I'll reach these numbers or this kind of complexity, but as I grew, I went in the life, became a surgeon, and over time, I woke up to the challenge, and I enjoyed doing the most complex cases. We'll discuss about that later. Yeah. And here we are doing 25,000 cases. I'm happy that I'm sharing with some of my patients also. So I call them my Jeeper Club members because see a nice, I call them my Jeeper Club members because when you open up the shirt nicely like him and they do that, see woman,
I saw the fan
like
club.
Wonder Woman, they do it. Suddenly you find a nice line here with Jeepers on both sides. So they are my Jeeper Club members. Yes, and they have run marathon. Some of them are running full marathon, half marathon. They have been doing for last 18 years. So that is, I think, the biggest achievement that I can think of.
You know what you are very, very well known for is being able to treat cases which are difficult. What is the motivation to do that? Because a lot of medical professionals don't want a bad strike rate. You have a 99.6%
Yes.
strike rate. How important is that strike rate?
I think the one thing this is one very first experience I got it as a student. I was doing my MCS cardiac surgery All India Institute. I still remember the patient's name. His name was Kartar Singh, and he was so bad. He was almost dying. He was in the ICU in All India Institute. He was whole body has swollen up like a frog, and he was every surgeon refused. So one of our surgeons, Dr. Sampath Kumar, he took up the challenge. He said, operate. I said, sir, he's going to die. Why are you operating? And he said, if I operate, either he's going to die 100%. If I operate, at least there's a 0.1%, let me take the chance. After he operated, you won't believe, next 3 days, he passed, I still remember, 26 liters of urine. That much extra water was in his body.
My God.
26 liters of urine, I still remember he passed. He became all right. That's not the end of the story. Around a year and a half, 2 years later, I was in the All India Institute OPD. It's like a big bazaar, hundreds of patients. I see this tall Sardar, big built Sardar walks in. He says, "Sir, मेरे को जल्दी जाना है, आप थोड़ा देख लीजिए." I said, "नहीं, you have to stand in the queue. Your number is still not come. It will take 1 hour." साहब पहचाना नहीं मेरे को. मैं बोला कौन है? सर मैं करतार सिंह हूँ. I was shocked to see him. So I told him, what do you do nowadays? So I had to see him because he was one of our most favorite patients. And I said, okay, I'll see you. I called him. I said, what do you do? He said, साहब आजकल मैं चंडीगढ़ से कलकत्ता तक ट्रक ड्राइव कर रहा हूँ.
Wow.
That was my biggest motivation. I said, I'll never refuse a patient, no matter how bad. As long as the family accepts it, I take up the challenge.
Do you feel the pressure though? Because, with statistics like this, and at the end of the day, with any profession, anything can happen. But do you feel that pressure, that weight of expectation, and how do you deal with that?
I do a simple thing. I give the pressure to my assistants and to my team members. I pass on all the pressures to them. So they are pressurized. I'm in a relaxed mode. And the more challenging the case, I enjoy the case more. And of course, I do a thorough homework before doing a very complex case. I go through every possible scenario, every possible situation that might occur in the operation theater. Good thing about heart surgery is we do most of the checking beforehand. So we don't try to keep any surprise suddenly finding inside. In spite of that, always there is some surprise in a complex case. And I play that each scenario already in my mind around 10 times. I do that. So that when I go to the operation theater, if I've got suddenly something unexpected comes, I already planned out what to do.
So no surprises?
No surprises for me. But I keep all the stress to my assistants and my team members and enjoy my music. I love music, so always there's a background music going on in the operation theater. Yeah, during surgery. I always have that.
You have to tell me what your playlist looks like.
Yes, I think I'll invite you one day to come to operation theater to see that.
No, but what musician do you like listening to?
I like to mostly Western classic music, and then I love old Hindi songs from the 1945 till 1960-65, all those songs. So whether it is K.L. Saigal, Pankaj Malik, there is Lata, Hemant Kumar, Mohammad Rafi, Talat Mahmood, you name it. I love them. So I have got a selection of around 3,000 songs. So Monday to Saturday, every day I have got around 300 songs.
Okay.
So when I'm inside the operation theater, I listen to that. The moment I come out, my team members, they play something else.
I'm going to ask a lot more. Do you have different songs for different moods? But before that, let's just watch a very short film about Dr. Panda.
Today we are here to celebrate an incredible achievement by Asian Heart Institute and Dr. Ramakanta Panda, the safest cardiac surgeon in the world with a 99.6% success rate in cardiac surgery, now completes 25,000 heart surgeries. 20% of the surgeries were highly complex and considered inoperable. Dr. Panda has risen from humble beginnings as the son of a farmer in Jajpur, Odisha. Today he is known as the heart surgeon with a Midas touch. In 2009, he led the team that successfully operated the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. He also operated on several high-profile patients like Dilip Kumar, Lalu Prasad Yadav, Tarun Gogoi, D. Raja, and other such corporate titans, showbiz celebrities and world leaders.
मैं अपने दोस्त अपने मित्र एशियन हार्ट इंस्टीट्यूट के डॉक्टर रमाकांत पांडा जी को बहुत बहुत मुबारकबाद देना चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने 25,000 हार्ट सर्जरी सक्सेसफुल की हैं। उम्मीद करता हूं कि डॉक्टर साहब आप ऐसे ही अपने जादुई हाथों से लोगों की जानें बचाते रहें हमेशा हमेशा एंड आपकी भी ज़िंदगी बहुत लंबी हो। धन्यवाद।
Dr. Panda is one of the most respected surgeons in India and the world, an ambassador for healthcare reform, ethical practice, and a socially conscious citizen. A heartfelt salute to a living legend in Indian healthcare. We also salute the team of doctors, Dr. De Silva, Dr. Rath, Dr. Vanzara, Dr. Tilak, Dr. Dora, Dr. Swati, and Dr. Manoj, without whom these milestones would have not been possible.
Wonderful, wonderful. You know, there is such a long list of celebrities and VVIPs you've treated, including an individual who was the Prime Minister at that time. Yes. Apart from asking you what music you listened to in that surgery, is that a lot more pressure? How do you take away from the consequences of every decision you're making?
One thing is, first the training that we go through. During my training, All India Institute and then Cleveland Clinic, I used to work, not me alone, all the trainees who have gone through those rigorous training those days. We used to work on an average around 18, 20 hours a day. In Cleveland Clinic, it was something like 36 hours. You start around 5:36 in the morning, work till next day morning around 7, 8 in the evening, and then go home to sleep just 8 hours and back on the work. And during that time, we have gone through each and every kind of cases and most complex cases. So that has been built up as a reflex so that by and large, once you are in the operation theater, start doing surgery, the pressure is not there. But having said that, when you are operating on a very VVIP patient, obviously that pressure is there. One of the things I do always is, I very firmly believe in yoga. So I always do yoga so that you concentrate and you focus on the surgery so that you don't get distracted or don't get too much stressed out. But it's more the training that you have gone through and more surgery you do so that you are more experienced in doing that. You know that you have gone through so many times. But having on top of that, you have to be always meticulous. And the thing that takes me always, I believe, which I again learned from my mentor, Dr. Luke, because when I went and got trained by him, those days he was the pioneer bypass surgeon in the world, redo bypass surgeon in the world. And I used to ask him that, same question I asked. He said that every single patient that I operate, I think that as if I'm operating for the first time. Because when you do something first time, you are very careful about everything. So for me, even if I've done 25,000 cases, every patient I operate, I think I'm doing for the first time in my life. So all my antennas are up. I'm very conscious about what I'm doing. I'm very particular about doing it.
Does it matter beyond a point what the profile of the patient is? Once the surgery has begun, whether it's a prime minister or an actor or just any normal person, does it matter?
No. Once I'm inside, try to keep the mind completely out, so that you focus on the surgery, try to do the best that you want to do. You don't want to know whom you are operating. The same thing happened with the then Prime Minister when you did a second bypass, same thing. My whole team were there, Dr. Rath, Dr. Banjara, Dr. Disvila, they all inside the operation theatre, same thing. We said that he's no more the Prime Minister, he's a patient, our job is to do the best and focus on that.
What for you, of all of these 25,000 cases, if I were to ask you to recall one or two maybe, the most challenging, and I know that's a big ask because that's a big number, the most challenging or a case where you really felt you had to apply yourself, maybe question yourself, what was the most challenging one?
During my training phase, I told you that thing, the one case stands out in mind which made me decide that I'll never refuse a patient was Kartar Singh. And one challenging case, I'll put it, I had just come to Mumbai, I had just 2 months, not even 2 months, less than a month in my practice. And there was a senior bureaucrat who were undergoing angioplasty. Those days, angioplasty was at the beginning, and his heart stopped. So he was clinically dead for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes, they are doing cardiac massage, jumping on his chest. And then the family, they approached two other senior doctors, they all refused. And the family, I said there is only 1% chance, 99% will not make it because 30 minutes they are doing cardiac massage and his heart had already stopped. The family agreed. I said the only 1% chance will survive, I'll take up the chance. I took up and he was in coma for a month almost.
But what did you do?
I did a bypass surgery on him. With the heart, with the cardiac massage, we took him to the operation theatre. With the massage, we opened. Dr. Rath was there, Dr. Banjara, the same team was there. That's what I always give credit to my team. And so he was in coma for more than a month. More important thing, he's still alive.
Wow.
26 years later, he's still alive, doing well. So I can think of that. Recently, we did similarly another patient where he had a very bad infection. He had come from Kolkata. He had an infection of the valve. The infection had completely eaten away his main pipe called aorta, had eaten away his one of the valve, the aortic valve, then another valve called mitral valve. Half of it is eaten away. It had even eaten away into the blood supply to the heart. And so much so that normally when that happens, so much area opens up, the patient bleeds and goes in seconds. But here, since it happens over a month, the body builds a defense wall. So he had a big swelling through which that blood was leaking on the back of the heart, which was the size of the heart, more than the size of the heart. And he was taken up for surgery in Kolkata. They took him out of the operation theatre. They said, not possible, die on the table. The family brought her. I said, certainly we'll try out and do that. He had a flawless surgery, and we did a most complex 6 surgery on him. I replaced one valve, repaired the other valve, closed the hole. I replaced the main pipe. Then I had to reattach his heart artery blood supply to the heart and everything. And he had a flawless recovery, and he's back home. It was just 2 months back. So like that we have, And of course, I'll put it there. Also similarly, number of bypasses, etc. So plenty of them we have done.
No, absolutely. Just really, that deserves a round of applause. And that goes to show
more important is, I may not remember my 25,000 heart surgeries, but I'll remember each and every complex case I have done.
No, absolutely. What about accessibility? Now, you are a VIP doctor yourself, like all the VIPs that you treat. And a lot of people who may be watching this may be thinking that, will we ever have an opportunity to be treated with someone with the skill or like Dr. Panda? Tell us some of, the philanthropy that you engage in, or how do you make services like yours accessible to those who don't have the means?
When we set up Asian Heart, we wanted to give the best quality care to every patient at an affordable price, and we are very happy that we have been able to do that. And we have never forgotten about people who can't afford. So we have been always in the forefront whenever something is needed. Like we started the first ambulance services where anybody can call up. It's called 126 126. People can call up in the middle of the night. Again, Akshay Kumar, he has been always philanthropic. Everything he does free for us. He was the brand ambassador to launch it. Patients can call up anytime in the night. We have tied up with ambulance services. They can provide ambulance services to any hospital. Doesn't have to be only come to SNR. Similarly, we have got for pediatric patients, children patients, those who have heart problem. There we do almost 80 to 90% patients who subsidize. Because I strongly believe that if we have limited amount of resources to give charity, and I'll prefer to spend that on a child who have 60, 70 years to live, to contribute to the society also, rather than save money on a 78-year-old. So whatever limited money we have, almost 80 to 90% of children, we subsidize. Even now also anywhere, those who are listening, any child they recommend, I want always the parents to spend a small amount of money to understand the value of money. And we'll heavily subsidize the children heart surgery. So that is to my heart, and we always do that. Even having said that, even adult surgery, we don't refuse. Any patient, poor patient comes in, we don't refuse. If needed, I waive my fees. We try to, we have something called a silver package, where whatever the patient can afford, we try to do that in that. So we don't want to refuse anybody. So it's not for only VIP patients. I'm not for only rich patients. My heart goes to the poor patient, so much so that my operation theater and intensive care unit, there's no difference between my suite class patient stage and my free patient stage. It's exactly same bed, everything exactly same. The care is exactly same. There's absolutely no difference between a suite class patient. You will find a suite class patient, super rich patients, and next bed a completely free patients. We are not separated out.
Absolutely. That's really good to know. What then do you make of right now, and this is a big talking point in the medical fraternity, in all spheres, not just in cardiology, is the government's endeavor to bring affordable healthcare to every Indian. They've hoped to co-opt private hospitals and practitioners as well. What do you make of this endeavor?
I think it's very much needed for a country like us, where even though our healthcare is the cheapest in the world, unfortunately because of our standards, almost 60, 70 or 80% cannot afford. Partly, of course, is because of lack of insurance. If I go to Africa, that is for my wildlife photography, even those small countries have seen the insurance penetration is very high. Almost 70, 80, 90% of the people are covered with the insurance. I think that's the first and most important thing is, just like the way everybody gives some money for their clothes, from their food, for the house, car, etc., they must give some money for the health, and they should buy health insurance. That is very, very important. Now, there are people who cannot afford the bottom half of the population. For that, what of the government's endeavor is a very, very good initiative. At least these people could not afford any health care, especially catastrophic health care. See, average diseases like cough and cold, fever, everybody can afford and do a treatment. It's only catastrophic illness comes. Somebody needs a heart surgery, needs a kidney surgery, cancer surgery, brain surgery, then suddenly you need money. That is what drives almost 40% of the population into bankruptcy. And that is where this initiative is a very, very good initiative.
So they just finished 1 year, Ayushman Bharat finished 1 year.
Yes,
and
yes.
I had the opportunity to speak with the CEO of Ayushman Bharat, and I spoke to him because a lot of private practitioners are also concerned that the rates are very subsidized.
It's extremely low. See, what happens is, in a government hospital, 70 to 80% of the cost is already subsidized by the government.
Yes.
Free land, free building, free equipment, free service, free manpower, doctors' fees free, half of the medicines free, electricity free, everything free. The only thing is little bit of that extra disposable material they use. Whereas a private hospital, everything is, they have to do it. So 70 to 80% is not subsidized. So it becomes very, very difficult for a private hospital to do that. But having said that, if you see the lot of government hospital, capacity was very high. They could not do because of lack of funds. Now with this scheme, the hospital which has capacity, they are utilizing 10-20%. Now they can utilize and still treat patients. So even though it is the rates are extremely low for a private hospital to survive to do that services. There's enough capacity in the government sector to do that.
Okay. Another problem with the medical professions, I think, image today is, and even as today we are celebrating your great achievement as a doctor, is because of maybe some elements, a lack of trust. And you yourself launched a huge campaign against such elements in 2017.
Yes.
Against commissions. To explain to those who are not familiar, the practice of, doctors sharing fees because of referrals. Am I getting that correct?
Yes.
What is the practice you were fighting against?
See, it is again a reflection of the society. If the moral norms of the society is very high, everybody, including all professionals, will be the same level. If the moral reflection is low, then everybody will be the similar way. A doctor is a human being. He's same as anybody members of the society. Growing up, a doctor has to spend 2 crore rupees, 1 crore rupees to get an MBBS seat, 5 crore rupees to get a postgraduate seat. By the time he does his practice in 30-35 years, he's already spent 10 crore rupees. On the way, everything he sees, he has to give bribe. Bribe is a part of our life, it has become. So don't expect a doctor to be any different. But having said that, vast majority of doctors still practice. You look at it, all my colleagues are here, all of them are very honest and all of them have dedicated life. I'm not the only one. There are many, many doctors who have dedicated their life to patient care. But unfortunately, there is a certain segment of black sheep who unnecessarily gives a very bad name. And when something that comes out, it gives an entire section, everybody gets a bad name. So my drive was to see that that small section of those who are black sheep, to reform them, to make something to change them.
Did you lose friends? Was it difficult? Did you lose friends within the fraternity?
Luckily, no, didn't lose friends.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. When you are taking a stand like that, it's not easy. You'll be surprised how much support I got. Before starting, actually, I thought I'll be really grilled and I'll be ostracized, but I was really surprised to get so many phone calls for so many places. You'll be surprised, I was hiring a young doctor, gold medalist, etc. So he was working I asked him, why do you want to join us? And he was not even, he's a pulmonologist, and our need was there, but it's not that much. I said, why do you want to join? He said, no, sir, I've been 3 years struggling as a doctor. I know how difficult for a doctor to set up and get a practice. I love this against the court practice, so I want to join, I want to do honest practice. So I was surprised to see getting so much phone calls, because by and large, nobody doctors wants to do.
Yeah.
Nobody would like to give a part of his earning to somebody else. So I was surprised the other way around. So there is again, as I said in the beginning, it's an unfortunate reflection of the society. It's the level of the moral standards in the society reflects exactly same level on the doctors. There is a huge number of doctors who are very honest, very dedicated. And when I ran this campaign, I was surprised to get a huge, really big support from my fraternity to go ahead with this.
2 years later, what impact do you think it has made? Do you think it has changed things even in some quarters?
I think it has made quite a bit difference now. People, I think it has made a huge difference. And of course, a lot needs to be done in terms of coming a law and all that thing. I hope the next 1-2 years will come, but I think it has made a big difference. It has made a difference now. It has at least brought to the public domain.
Yes.
So those small percentage of people who are taking course, they are aware about it. And other doctors, I encourage them, those youngsters, I said, don't give. I didn't give anything. When I came to Mumbai, I was alone. I had never been to Mumbai in my life before that. I survived by, I always tell them, focus on your patients. They are your biggest brand ambassador. They are the biggest, so every single patient goes happy, is going to send you 20 more patients. So don't focus focus on a patient, give the best quality of care, because the best care to the patient, he's your biggest ambassador, this biggest marketing guy. So it has made a big difference. I think people are conscious now about it, and I'm pretty sure those small number of people have also come down.
I think sometimes the most important thing is to speak out, and that was a big
No, I was
step.
surprised to get a lot of support from my
Fraternity.
professor, yes, from my doctors, other colleagues.
Okay, so I know I'm sitting in a room full of cardiologists, but for people who are watching, some very basic things about heart disease that I want to ask you. Is this one of those things that is completely preventable? Unfortunately, now you hear of such a widespread of people with heart diseases, younger and younger than before.
Yes.
Marathon runners, healthy people. One doesn't know what is causing it. Till now, it was believed it was, high cholesterol foods. Then suddenly world norms have changed and they say now it's high sugar foods. What do you make of it through, your long journey? Is it just bad lifestyle that leads people to your table?
See, if you see when I was studying in medical college, there hardly any heart patients, very few heart patients getting admitted. Those heart patients are mostly valve patients, children, not the coronary blockage patients. In last 40 years, things have changed to the extent today in India, we are considered the heart disease capital of the world. Indians today are 3 to 4 times more at risk of developing heart disease than anybody else. And largely that has happened because of the lifestyle change that has happened over the last 40, 50 years. It's also partly evolutionary because the human beings were developed for 2 million years and last 30, 40,000 years only we have become, the society started living indoors. One has been eating. We never used to eat more than 1 or 2 meals a day. Number two, never eat in the night because by evening for 2 million years every human being was only running up, climbing a tree to survive the night so that wild animal doesn't come and eat them. So your body is utilized to that also, not eating the night, not eating excess food. So the whole lifestyle has changed, especially last 30, 40, 50 years, more so in India. So heart disease is, I very, very strongly believe, is completely preventable. Even if it's not preventable, even if a person has a heart disease, no matter what age, still you can lead a completely normal life by changing your lifestyle. And that's where some of I call my Jipper Club members, they have been here, who have been running Mumbai Marathon for 18, 17 years. They have never run before, so they completely change their lifestyle. So what causes this heart disease today is lifestyle. One is where lack of exercise completely. Very little exercise today, especially if we are living in large city, there's no place to do anything. Everybody is on a mobile, laptop, computer, and no time for exercise. Eating bad food, food which is very rich in high salt, saturated fat, and something called trans fat, which is, which has been altered so that the shelf life of the food cooked that in is long. Trans fat is very, very dangerous. It has been banned in most of the places in the world, especially US and Europe. Trans fat, then it's very high in salt, high in sugar. Sugar consumption in last 100 years has gone up 30 times, which means what sugar you eat in a one day, our forefathers used to eat that in a whole month.
My God.
So that kind of things has changed. Then use of tobacco, all these things, sedentary lifestyle, food habits, eating late in the night, your body is not used to, you are supposed to eat maximum 6 or 7 o'clock. My good friend Akshay Kumar always promotes, he said, he never eats after 6 or 7 o'clock because the body is used to that. Anything you eat late night, it gets converted to fat. The same food you eat at 6 o'clock, you lose weight, you eat at 12 in the night, you will put on weight, same amount of food. So the food habits, all these things, that leads to overweight, diabetes, blood pressure, because all these things are interrelated, all lifestyle related. So diabetes, blood pressure, we call silent killers because they don't cause any symptoms. So everybody neglects, not in this country, all over the world people neglect. Then by the time it slowly damages everything inside the body. And the biggest killer on nuisance is your tobacco and smoking. So all that, again, tobacco and smoking damages the inner lining of the arteries. So obviously that makes the artery very thick and slowly cholesterol starts getting deposited, you start getting a heart disease. In addition to all other cancer, etc. it causes. So all this lifestyle, food habits has completely changed from very complex carbohydrate. Our body, we normally used to eat, just 50 years back, used to eat, everything was complex carbohydrate. Indian diet was the best, except of course some of our Gujarati and Marwadi khana. I always tell them 7 gathia, person, jalebi and all those nice Gujarati khana. And other one is those are Marwadi. I always tell your dal bhati and kachori puri and churan. So avoid ghee, avoid all those things. Then, so all this amount has gone up very bad. So our forefathers never used to eat that. Eating food, complex carbohydrates, something called millets. Millets like bajra, jawar and ragi. Their carbohydrate is very, very complex. When you eat, it takes a very long time for body to break it down in the intestine. So it takes a long time from it to pass from stomach all the way to intestine to get absorbed into the body. So first thing, you don't feel hungry, so you don't eat fast. Second thing is, blood sugar level goes very slowly, so that the body doesn't secrete too much insulin. So it doesn't get, because you don't need sugar or at that point of time. If you eat something there's a high level of sugar in the body, what body does is secretes a lot of insulin, converts that to fat. So fat gets deposited in the body, especially in the stomach area. So eating a complex carbohydrate, complex food, eating more vegetables, salads, all these things, your sugar level doesn't go up suddenly. So body, it only goes up what you need. You don't feel hungry, you don't eat too often. So you maintain your weight, your sugar level, diabetes, everything gets controlled. Unfortunately, our lifestyle today, we do the other way around. All the food that's ready-made, off the shelf, from the, you straight to all the microwave oven, warm it up and eat. What is that? It has food which is very easily digestible. Yeah. Very quickly your sugar level goes up. Body has to secrete insulin. So that point of time, you don't need so much sugar. What it does, body converts into fat. Then after 1 hour, you feel hungry, again you eat, again the whole cycle goes. So we have to completely change our lifestyle to do that. If you do that at any point, you can reverse your heart disease. And even though I'm a heart surgeon, I have done 25,000 heart surgeries, I am very firm proponent of not doing this kind of treatment in form of favor of preventive measures. Because US, being the richest country in the world, they spent around $200 billion in hospitalization for heart care patients. Forget about all other OPD and other care. Our population is 3-4 times more than that. We are 2-3 times more chance of getting heart disease. When you calculate all that, we are 9 times or 10 times more chance of number of people having heart disease. If we are only going to do angioplasty surgery on these patients, we need at least $2 trillion. That's the total GDP of our country. USA even spending $200 billion, still 30% patients were not covered till recent Obamacare came in. So that's not the way we can bring heart treatment to India. The only way is to do prevention.
You know, this is just fascinating, and listening to you, I'm thinking that, is there enough information out there? For example, from what you're saying, we're clearly in the middle of an epidemic of heart disease.
Yes.
Shouldn't this be taught in schools?
I think prevention is the most important thing. US, between 1997 and 2008, in 10 years, when there's a lot of focus was on this, where the media, public, government, everything was focusing, they reduced the incidence of heart disease by 27%. If somebody asked me what is the best treatment for preventing heart disease, I said active physical lifestyle. Every day, at least run or do some treadmill, lose something for at least 30 minutes. That's the best treatment you can do to prevent heart disease. So your preventive measures is very, very important. And all over the world now, even in the most richest country, today the entire focus of treatment has been shifting from disease, treating a disease, to the lifestyle management, to health management. From disease management is moving to health management. So if you manage the health of the population, the incidence of a particular disease, whether it's heart disease or cancer, etc., will go down.
And what role does stress play? Because we've talked so much about food, but everyone relates stress with any heart ailments. Is it more stress or is it more bad lifestyle?
I think both are there, depends on stress per se is not harmful to the body. Now stress is you have to see 2 million years human beings live, we are nothing but apes. Yes, so 2 million years human beings live just like any other wild animal. Only two things, so there is it's called fight or flee reflex has built in. Some wild animal comes to eat, either you fight with the animal, survive, or run and climb up a tree. So body has been prepared like that. Now last 30,000 years, human beings from living on the wild have been staying in houses, etc., in communities. But that response has not been there. It is still there inside the body. The moment you get stressed out, get anger, the body doesn't realize that we are getting angry at somebody. Body realizes somebody is going to come and kill you, or you are going to fight with that. So that mechanism still works. So automatically what it does, it secretes stress hormones for nothing, because you are not, nobody is coming to eat you or kill you. So the stress hormones, it starts constricting your arteries. And that slowly, over a long time, it damages the arteries, they can develop high blood pressure, then diabetes, etc. So stress for a very short time is part of life, is actually good for the body. It's nothing wrong about it.
Yeah.
But a continuous stress, sustained stress over a long time is bad, especially the urban lifestyle you are leading with a timeline, etc., etc. Your stress levels are very high all the time. That is bad for the body. Not occasional stress. That's why I always jokingly I said I always give my stress to my assistants. I never keep stress to myself, so pass on the stress to them.
Then what do you do to de-stress? Apart from giving it to your assistants,
First thing I pass on to my assistant
what is
so
your
that I'm not
stress
stressed out. I'm not stressed out. But I have learned how to very quickly de-stress. In a fraction of a second, I might be upset, but in a very fraction of a second, I'm completely normal. For me, that particular incident, that particular activity that irritated me, the second is over, I don't want to think about it and get irritated. Then it's not a problem. But what has helped me very significantly, I'll always tell everybody to do, one is exercise. Exercise is one of the best ways to de-stress yourself, because by doing exercise, it releases certain hormones in the body called endorphin. That makes you feel good. That's the reason after exercise, everybody feels very nice and good about it. And second one, I always advise, I practice two things I do always, exercise and yoga. Yoga is another one again. Yoga means meditation to relax yourself. So obviously you learn how to dissociate stress. You get angry, fine, but in 1 second you forget about it, because that incident is over. Don't think about it, get burned inside. As long as you do that, you will not have a problem. I strongly recommend to everybody do two things, exercise and do yoga. And third thing, treat every incident for that moment only. Get angry, no problem, nothing will happen. Fraction of a second, you forget about it. The moment is over.
Don't hold on.
Yeah, don't hold on. When you keep inside burning all the time, then that is very bad.
I'm going to open up the floor to get some participation from all of you all as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you one interesting case with the complex cases we did.
Yeah.
We hold the world record on the maximum number of bypass grafts. We had average number of grafts. If you Google it, you'll find only 3 bypasses. Most of the patients get only 3 bypasses. But we do almost, because of complexity, we do on an average 6, 7, 8 bypasses. This particular patient had 12 bypasses.
Wow.
When I Googled it, we have never found, only one patient was done by Duke University, 8 bypasses many years back. This patient came to us, what we'll call in cardiogenic shock, means his blood pressure was very low, he was not able to walk, he was in the ICU. Any day he was going to die. He's from somewhere near Bangalore. Relatives stay in Hyderabad. Bangalore, he got admitted. They refused. They said it's not possible to operate. Then sent him to Hyderabad. From there, we airlifted him. I ended up doing 12 bypass grafts.
My God.
And that is the world record. And I don't think, even I have not surpassed, though I have done 8, 10 and 7, 8, 10 bypasses. 12 bypass grafts we did. More important is, within a month, we made him run on a treadmill. He was running at equivalent of at 7 kilometers an hour. Now it is, I think, 5 or 6 years now. His son got married a year later. He sent me a video of him dancing in son's marriage.
Wow.
So these are, I think, the most memorable and complex cases that I have done that, and most satisfying. That here's a patient who was almost dying. And a year later, he's dancing with his son's marriage. He's absolutely fit and fine. It is 6 years now.
It's just amazing, Dr. Panda. And once again, congratulations on that huge number. 25,000 is not just a number. It's I think so many lives that you have saved, them and their families, that you have changed. I'm going to give an opportunity for questions from anyone on the floor. Yes.
Before I start, I would like to congratulate you, sir, for your excellent
Thank you.
achievements in your life. And I am Dr. Ramakanta Panda. I am a practicing consultant in sleep medicine. And sleep and heart are very closely associated. I wish to bring this concept of sleep inside cardiology, that if you are sleeping late, that is what is now affecting several people. When you sleep late, it causes insulin resistance. And food is all right, food you should take early. There are no patients of myocardial infarction in Mahabharata because there was no sunlight, there was no light in the, people used to go to sleep at 6 p.m. after the war.
That's one point I forgot to tell. In addition to food, sleeping is very important, sleeping early and a fixed time of the night. So ideally 9 to 11 and sleep at least 7, if not 8 hours. Too much sleep also bad, too less sleep is bad. Try to sleep at a particular time and early as possible. That's a very, very important thing. Yes.
And sir,
that's one point I forgot to tell.
No problem, sir. I know you know it.
It's as important as eating early and sleeping early. Yeah.
And also patient having snoring should be treated. That is one of the very important risk factors for hypertension, heart disease, myocardial infarction and several other problems, insulin resistance, diabetes. And we have been doing it for the last 20 years now, the science of sleep medicine. And sir is aware of me and I have come here to congratulate him. Thank you very much, madam, for giving me the opportunity.
Yes, Dr. Panda, 25,000 heart surgeries, but we also know you that lakhs of patients come to you for consulting and you are there for consulting late morning. Normally, the word is late evening, but in your case, even past 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we have seen you consult patient, and we also know that half of them, you send them back saying that you don't need bypass surgery or you need only medication. Now otherwise this number would have been 50,000 also.
Dr. Panda and the team, congratulations once again. We'll end the program here, but he's here. You all have a chance to come and speak with him. And if there's any, sort of a closing message that you'd want to give.
My closing message to the people that heart disease is eminently curable, is preventable. Lead a healthy lifestyle. Don't lead a lifestyle that can lead to heart disease and then you get a heart problem. So lead a healthy lifestyle. And in case you, unfortunately, very small percentage of patients will get heart disease, don't worry. Heart disease is not end of life. You can start a new life by completely changing your lifestyle. Today there's enough treatment available, which is you can lead a completely normal life. And to the doctors community is your patients are your God. Treat every patient as the only patient you have. You will never have another patient. And put your heart and soul to make that patient happy, both in terms of giving him the best treatment and also giving the best experience. And all the young doctors, and there is no substitute for hard work, commitment, and love for your work. If you have that, you will succeed. Then you never fail. You never fail your life if you are totally committed to your profession, hard work, and committed to the care of your patients. So these are 3 messages I like to give to younger doctors, to my hospitals and doctors community to treat the patients and the public. Thank you.